following program is intended for mature audiences.
It's the music, movies, and shows you love.
As if we care.
And hate.
You ain't gonna like it none.
And love to hate.
I didn't expect that at all.
This is The Broken Remote.
And coming to you live on tape on this Tuesday, November 19th. Quite a while since Will and I have hit the airwaves, but we are back. We're back.
Hot minute, man.
We're back.
And
we're back.
luckily, there was no major news or TV shows that happened in the month of November in 2024.
Nothing.
So we are perfectly up to date.
Nothing at all. Yeah, I mean, look, The Penguin, that's one thing.
Phenomenal show. Only thing that matters.
What was the newest one off Netflix that you were talking about?
Oh, Archane.
Archane.
It's everything the Acolyte wants to be and completely fails at being.
There you go. Movies out in the theaters. Wild Robot and
Fantastic.
what were some
Gladiator
other
2.
Gladiator 2 coming out. Yes.
Yeah.
And also there was another movie that's Wicked coming out. SNL has come back out.
And if you post a picture of the main actress from Wicked, she will find you, she will hunt you down, and she will slit your throat ear to ear while your children and family watch.
Yeah, every new movie, specifically movie release, I guess maybe TV too, but definitely movie, it's always heated. It's just heated because everything has become political.
Thing. Yeah. Was that one even political? That was just like the most theater kid meltdown I have ever seen in my life.
I feel like it might have been political only in the sense that they got really heated when people redid the poster and posted it online to social.
And for people that didn't know, essentially what happened, so there's the famous Wicked cover where Glinda, the witch, this is
from the Playbill.
Yeah, none of these words make any sense when I'm rethinking about what I'm saying. But when the one, from the Playbill, where Glinda is whispering in the ear of the main character, and she's got this little snicker smile.
Right.
Some fan photoshopped.
And it's a silhouette, and it's a very specific pose.
And they took an existing poster that was an homage, and they edited it to look more like the Playbill. And the lead actress had the meltdown of the century. Where she was not thrilled, dude.
She threw one of the hairiest fits for something that was so stupid.
I haven't seen something that bad since I was at a playground and I didn't get ice cream that one time from my mom. Honestly, I was 12 years. No, that was 2 year days ago. Let's be honest. Yeah, I was very upset.
Very funny. Yes, it was very childish in nature. That is for sure. Because, come on. All they did was make the current poster look like the Playbill, which is an homage. I thought it was fine. Did not really think it was, I don't know, egregious or offensive. But wow, she lost her shit.
Dude, it is thumbs up or a like button on Facebook, best case scenario.
Right.
She's like, what if I made this a giant scandal?
And maybe it's not political in nature, but it ended up, look, there are tons of people, whether you like to believe it or not, that are super pissed just because the Wicked Witch is not a straight white actress. It's just, that's just a fact of it. It should not matter, but now in this political environment, anytime there is something that's, let's say a redo, a retool, a reshoot, anything that has existed before, if you change it from what it used to be, you're just going to get this backlash. I don't know why anybody doesn't understand that. And you're just going to have to be okay, yeah, we're good with it. It is what it is. We expect it. We know it's coming. But there's all this outrage every time that this known feedback comes your way. And it's just kind of, what did you expect? You got to know this is coming.
It is kind of funny. I don't know where it comes from. You just see it so part of me, conspiracy part of me. Then I do conspiracy. Part of it is this is so stupid, and this is so ridiculous that she got mad about it. But we're now talking about the movie part of me thinks, was this just like free marketing that they kind of had in mind for the movie? Once again, probably too stupid, but like,
Yeah, it would be too
Let me
meta.
look-
I would not give them credit for that kind of play. Right?
Yeah.
That's more of an Alex Jones play, right? Like he does that.
What they need to understand is the associates behind the Associated Press there and the hijack government, what they're doing behind the scenes underneath Area 51.
It's the Gulf of Tonkin. The Gulf of Tonkin. It was a false flag operation. By my
Well, that
bunker
was a
meat.
false flag. No one knows Alex Jones anymore, dude. The legendary age of him is sadly over. Yeah, pour one out.
Well,
right
he's
now.
going to go down fighting because I guess he has now sued the Onion for.
Is that true? Did the Onion really buy InfoWars?
Yeah, the parent
that
company
is-
of the Onion bought InfoWars, immediately took it off,
It makes
and
me so happy.
Alex Jones is now sued because he said it was a unfair or rigged, not election, but
Right, election.
It was a
He's missing out.
it was a rigged auction. And so he's saying it was a rigged auction and that there were higher offers and they didn't take the higher offer, which is what they should have if they were trying to recuperate funds for the lawsuit victims, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, but, that has got him back in the news and he'll be fine. Although it is kind of funny to think about Alex Jones on a timeline, right? Because
I always just expect him to just like spontaneously combust one day. Like that dude is just so red in the face. Apparently he's like really chill behind the scenes, which like would be hilarious. Big if true.
What's funny about Alex Jones is that I have a text thread with all the kids that I
Just
graduated with.
Yeah.
And this one kid, anytime Alex Jones, so my one friend posts this Alex Jones meme a bunch. And whenever he posts it, my other friend, who, tends to, slant a little liberal, gets all angry and he's like, that piece of shit, what he did to the Sandy Hook victims. And my eyes roll back only because if you know Alex Jones from Sandy Hook on, then I completely get it. Complete piece of shit. He said it was a conspiracy. He said it wasn't real, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you know the history of Alex Jones from doing cable access in Texas up through where he went, like, he is a character. Like, I don't think Alex Jones is Alex Jones. To your point,
No.
he probably is cool behind the scenes because this whole thing was him running around with a handheld microphone or a handheld camera and a megaphone, out in Vienna where the G20 was, screaming at people, being like,
The secret government is not going to take us. We're not going to take this standing down. Do you hear me?
Well, they need to understand that Hillary Clinton actually has a secret compound underneath the Pentagon where she has 40 different clones of her being created at any given time. Each designed to take over a different branch of the government.
And he had a whole legion of these videos on YouTube that
Dude,
were
he was huge in 2016.
2016, dude. I only found him because when I was listening to Opie and
Because
Anthony,
you care about the truth.
I
Completely
care about the
understand.
truth. Yes, it's true. I was listening to Opie and Anthony, and they started tooling on this guy. And so early podcast in like internet show era, he was one of the forefathers. It was him and Rogan and Kevin Smith and Mark Maron and God, who was the guy? Damn it, he was married to the red-haired chick Nikki Cox with the big
This is
cans.
not ringing any bells for me right now.
Jay Moore. You know the comedian Jay Moore?
Not ringing
You
any
don't know
bells.
Jay Moore? Oh,
I know
man.
Carrot Top.
No,
Does that
yeah.
matter?
So Jay Moore had a show. But anyway, Jones was one of the early guys, and I found it through Opie and Anthony. They were ripping on this guy. And then I would listen, and I would throw it on when I was at my dad's shop for like an hour, only because it was just fascinating to hear this guy talk. The conspiracies were so, like, off the wall, and you could tell, like, this was his bullpen right here. Like, this was his deal.
This is how he brought in the big bucks.
Yeah, like this was everything about it was constructed the way he
Well,
wanted it.
okay, it's that and the tactical bath. Let's be perfectly honest here. I mean, he's nothing without that tactical bath.
Yeah, the tactical. Well, hold on. What is tactical path? I misspoke because I laughed.
Dude, it was one of those things. What is it? Well, now I gotta look it up.
I mean,
Tactical
I used to
bath.
listen only for the commercials because the commercials used to be, your iodine pills, your bunker meat, all kinds of other. Everything was for like nuclear
it's
fallout.
What is this? Tactical bath. It's a moist towelette for your body for when
Nuclear fallout?
society collapses.
Well, he's got a
That is sadly stupider than I was hoping.
and that's the
I mean, and
company.
it's pretty stupid too. Damn.
And that's the company that he tried to use to buy back InfoWars through the auction. So he tried
to buy it back?
Yeah. He's got another
Yeah, he
company,
is.
and he tried to purchase it, and that's why he's all heated, and that's why he knows the auction. He knows that the bid was higher than what was purchased because it was his bid. So, but anyway, long story short about Alex Jones is that if you knew him up until Sandy Hook, you know that it's kind of a character. And I'm not applauding the guy, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it was content that was worth to listen to because it was just wacko.
I almost said I do, and then I was like, let's think about that statement for a second. Yeah.
Yeah. But then obviously Sandy Hook, I don't know why he went after it, right? It was like there's a couple of
I
fuck
think
ups.
he was so used to just talking shit about
Yes,
random conspiracy
right?
theories. He just eventually was like, oh, wait, this is one that I probably shouldn't get into. But it was too late.
But I think he already went for it, right? Like he
Yeah,
committed to
100%.
it and it was over. And then before you know it, it was forget it, career over, gone went everything.
You done.
You know, and it was just kind of like you watch football at all, or do you know the name John Gruden?
Yeah, vaguely
He was a
aware.
coach, right? And he basically was the next John Madden. I mean, it was money forever. He was all set.
And then
And then
what
he
did
decided,
do?
I'm going to be a coach again. So he goes back to being a coach. He leaves this cushy job where he doesn't have to do shit to go back and coach the Los Angeles Raiders or Las Vegas Raiders at that time. Goes back, and then sure enough, in another investigation that the NFL pulled up, they get emails of him going to somebody from the Washington at the time Redskins, which is another team, and he's basically blasting the head of the players union, who's a black guy, DeMaurice Smith, and he says that he's got lips like Michelin tires, and all of a sudden it was like
Oh, shit. Oh,
Big
yeah,
disaster.
that's what that was. Oh, that's okay. Not great, dude.
and
Okay.
John Gruden's career slowly went down the tubes.
Not good.
No,
So
and-
here's the thing. I thought the direction we were going to go in was the retirement plan that all the YouTubers have, where they're basically like, oh, God, I got all these millions of dollars and fans. I better go molest kids. Like, what the f am I doing?
You know, the one thing, and this is what really has happened since we talked last, was the goddamn the election. But the one thing that you have
The
seen,
what?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Russia. Yeah, Putin won again, right?
That,
Yeah.
that little thing.
Yeah, good for him. Democratically elected.
But you have now discovered, because everything now is about discovery. And like, you know, what is the new terminology? Citizen journalists, or I think that's what they're called now. Just everybody broadcasting every little piece of information that they got from a quote unquote source. Oh, my sources are telling me. Like, your sources? How many sources are there? I know a guy who knows a guy that knows Biden. Okay, all right, sure. But now it's just, what you figured out is that there are a shit ton of dirty birds out there, and they all happen to be famous. And this, you know, the Diddy thing's never going to reach like the light of day, right?
I was gonna say, dude, like Epstein happened not even 10 years ago. like that is still like the biggest story of like maybe 10 years. Where just like, hey, everyone that's ever been in power in America, they were his best friend on his slip and slide actively right before he died. You're like, that's crazy. I guess it'll be like, 3 weeks in the news. Moving on, I'm bored.
And then all of a sudden, all these rich and famous people are all watching TV as I think it wasn't ICE. It was Department of Homeland Security goes in and raids Diddy's house, and everybody's sitting there on their couch like,
You say rating.
I was at that house. I was at that house.
You say sitting in the house, but it's pretty impossible just because that place was just so fucking lubed up, dude. Like
Sure,
were
you
just slipping
sliding
and sliding.
around your house. But yeah, so and that's
Hey, pizza delivery. Slide right in the middle.
I'm thinking now about the house, and I'm thinking about everybody running around the house and just being unable to stand at any given time. And it's just people skating around the house all over. You're just drinking a beer, sliding.
Mr. Diddy, I want to talk to you about something.
I got this new rappers. Do you want to do this?
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes, I want to do something.
That chick is so
Well,
hot.
Biggie Smalls will come back to life. Yeah. Just only that.
She's so hot.
Yeah.
Big tits.
Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, definitely that was happening, dude.
There was a ton of that. So anyway, but that's what we have learned. And now, so we had the election. The election night now it's obviously in the past. I was less than.
Wait. I wasn't paying attention. Who won?
Yes, that's right. The guy won. The guy won.
Some dude. I voted for Biden. I mean, I really felt like he was going to turn this country around. Really, he had his best foot forward.
You wrote him in. Good job. Good for you. I mean, full disclosure, I did end up voting for Trump. I didn't vote for him round 1 and round 2. I actually wrote it none of the above, but this time I voted for Trump because I did not think Harris was a legit candidate at all. Which, I mean, now you see the guy. I mean, how do you piss away $1+ billion on a campaign be unable to explain where the money went?
Dude, I have been eating so good from that story. Now, granted, from what
crazy,
I hear,
dude.
So to be a potential buzzkill, because I've not done any research, that may have originated from like some Instagram thing or something like that. I heard, but let's pretend it's true for the sake of this conversation, because it must have come from somewhere, and I refuse to believe this is all just one giant like whiff, because she is $30 million in debt. Ultimately, that part is true.
Oh no, I think the whole story. I think this story is legit, man. I think they pissed through all of that money, and now they're in debt. And now they're like not paying staffers and all the rest. They're like, yeah, you're gonna get paid out for Christmas. And they're like,
sorry, thank you so much for helping. By the way, we're gonna need you out of here by next Tuesday.
Can I get my check?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
See, we were really hoping the American taxpayer would bail us out, so we're gonna send you one more of those emails. That's like, hey, you want to do us a solid, but
I mean, you said we were gonna. I mean, it's time to turn the page. That includes your check.
Full disclosure, we tried to get her on this podcast, and she was gonna give us, only $3 million, and I tried to personally push it up to 5, but she was like, that might be. If it's not 10, I'm only going for the big dogs here. I'm just not going to spend the money. It was weird. I wasn't expecting to be underballed like
me
that.
either. But so be it. So be it. It's in the past now. We missed our opportunity. But whatever. Election night came and went. Now she is faded. I mean, she was. Put it this way. She was such a strong candidate. You have not heard from her since she pieced out. That's how strong a candidate she was.
I do think she's just going to disappear from the limelight entirely.
Completely.
The fart in the wind that she kind of always was. I love the conspiracy theory. I'm using that word a little too strongly because there's like the JFK assassination, and then there's like
Tom Kennedy's a false flag operation.
Yeah, exactly. I love the theory that Biden voted for Trump along with his wife.
Yes, I love that one. Yes, and she wore red the night of the election and all that.
I was eating so good from every one of those stories, dude, where it's just going like, you can see him like lipping to like Obama during that one like funeral or something. They're like, I'm a better candidate, Barack. You can tell, right? And Obama's like, I don't want to be here. Why am I having this conversation right now? Please get me out of here.
Oh, God, all the things that we missed talking about that were in the time, like when Barack went and tried to shame all the black men into voting for...
Yeah, him and his Michelle, too. They're just like, dude, what are you doing? Oh, my, everyone loves being elected.
What is going on? Have you guys lost it? This is not what you do. This is not the way.
They did. They lost every single major state you possibly can lose. Yeah, they absolutely did.
They made it seem like the Kentucky Derby and the horses were like neck and neck going down all the way to the wire. And then ultimately, now that we're 2 weeks removed from the election, I guess it was 2 weeks ago.
Dude, we were saying we thought it was going to be close. I was re-listening to the last one, and we're just like, yeah, this is definitely could be anyone's game. Who knows where this goes?
Yeah, and now it was more like the Titanic.
Dude, looking back on it now, you're like, how did we ever think this was going to be this close? Like, it's just so...
It wasn't close at all. It wasn't close.
Not even remote. It was a blowout, dude.
It was a blowout. I tried to take money on, and I would have lost, but I had a feel that Jersey was going to flip to red. Only because the area that I live in...
California was mostly red, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the counties...
It wasn't the city area, granted, but still.
And there was crazy odds on Jersey going red. And I said, you know what? I can see it. I can definitely see it. So I wanted to throw $100 on it because the 100 would have pulled back like 2,200 or something. So I wanted some kind of investment, but I couldn't get anybody. I actually tried to contact the bookie to see if they would take it. They wouldn't take that. I couldn't do it overseas because we're in America, so whatever. But anyway, it didn't make it, and I lucked out. I saved myself $100 because Jersey ended up staying blue. But it was not close. That's the point of it. When you pull it back, it was more like the Democratic campaign was more like the Titanic, and in the end, they just crashed and sank, and now they're at the bottom of the Atlantic.
It is like
it's the Atlantic. Where the hell?
Yeah, Northern Atlantic, yeah. But the like what Lusitania dude just got fucking shot down.
I was just not thrilled with the coverage. There was nothing funny or fun on the night. It just kind of was boring.
Yeah, I think it was more just like everyone was like, oh. Like it was so like the last time he won, I did not vote for him either time, but like I didn't vote. I basically did run anyway. But the not even gonna get into it. But what I will say is, she what was I going with this? I completely just lost my train of thought.
The election night and coverage.
Yeah, the coverage. I think last time when he won, like there was this just level of just upsetty spaghettiness that was kind of funny. Like just without,
sure.
like when you got every one of those like compilation videos of the girls, they're like, no.
Yeah, there wasn't any of that.
There was none of that, and this time it's more like
And they really tried to force that on X. They were trying so deep to get those, and there wasn't nearly anything organic.
They wanted those Pepe memes so badly, dude.
Did, yes.
Oh my god. I mean, I do miss those. That was what a good time to be on the internet.
It was fantastic
when that happened. It was funny.
2016 was great.
It was great. I think it's also. I mean, it's also just like everyone that keeps saying like he's a dictator. It's like, bro, he was already president for 4 years. Like we know he's not that. Worst case scenario is he's going to get some more judges that you don't like in power for the rest of your life,
right?
And he's going to make Twitter more fun again. And just be a genuine asshole to everybody. But I think everyone's kind of like, we know what happens now.
Yeah, we've done this for 4 years. And I think that's a good tangent to something that I do want to bring up is that when you think about it, it has everything that came from the left was so echo chamber talking points that at a certain point you were just sitting there just kind of like, yeah, but does that really make sense? Like, how is he going to become a dictator? Like Oprah sitting up there, women aren't going to be able to vote anymore.
Dude.
Like how are women not going to be able to vote anymore? National abortion ban. Well, like how is he actually going to do that? That's not going to pass in Congress. Women aren't. They took over women's rights. Well, like actually, Roe versus Wade didn't really do that. It just kicked it down to the states. So if you want, be angry at your state. Like every time there was an argument, you were just kind of like, yeah, but it's not in reality. There's a relative I know, and they were just talking. They were saying, now RFK's in there, and he's going to do away with every vaccine in there. I'm like, it's not possible.
I was going to say they're not the king. I'm not a fan of the dude. Like he is a genuine asshole in like so many regards.
Completely.
And, like, yeah, he's going to do a couple things I'm not like the biggest fan of either. But like, he's not king and tyrant, guys. Like in the United States of America, did you take history in middle school? Like there's a kind of some checks and balances.
Right, there's three branches of government, the whole nine. I don't know how one.
You might have swept all three branches of government here, so that might help him a quite a good portion. But I still feel
maybe. I mean, that's going to be able to let him get through certain pieces of legislation that that a side can get behind. If you're like women aren't going to be able to vote, everybody's going to be like, excuse me, that's not happening.
What did you say?
But he's never even talked about that. I mean, it's just again, if you look at all of the rhetoric coming from both sides, the extremes are so like out of bounds on the right side too. But like, I don't know. I think the left has been way more over the top than the right has been.
Have they? Yeah,
I mean, I think, yeah. But when you have people like Joy Reid and Maddow and just
I think
loony
their
bins.
meltdown people are just so much more fun to look at. I mean, there's definitely people on like the right that are just so annoying. But I mean, you look at like my old hero Stephen Colbert, who used to be like one of my favorite guys to watch.
Did you really like him?
I used to love him when I was younger, dude, and now he is like the most. It's I'm trying to think of like some equivalent, dude. But I guess it's like if you were in the Star Wars universe, stick with me. If you were in the Star Wars universe, and you're like, God, my best friend's this Anakin guy. What a swell dude. And then next day he comes around like, Anakin, what's up? Wait, why are you wearing that helmet? That cloak's kind of weird. You just stabbed me? What the hell, dude? You're like, what just happened? Why did you betray me on this ultimate level?
Well, you can only call somebody Annie so long before they snap.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, yeah. Annie, what's up? Trying to high five the arm that he lost. He gets a little mad about it. That's trying to dap me up, dude. What's up? How is Dooku, by the way? Oh, you look mad.
He's got no head, buddy. Well, what happened, Annie?
I thought we were doing that double date next week. Where's your wife? Oh.
Oh, oops.
Oh, no.
Things escalated quickly.
That seems kind of bad. You don't get that
Didn't work
checked
out
out.
well. Yes. Brick killed a man. But back to it. So, that night, came and went. And to your point, though, about it's so much more fun to watch that one side. For the next week, I didn't watch anything on the right. I watched all MSNBC, CNN.
Oh, dude, you're watching Joe Scarborough literally just have a public meltdown every day.
Oh, my God. And then he was out there yesterday in the news. And him and, what's the other, Mika?
His wife, yeah.
Are they married? They are married,
They're
right?
married, yeah, they're married. Yeah, which
Right?
is weird.
But they were not married. They hooked up while they were, and then they got married, and then it was like a thing.
They're having fun.
I didn't know the story about the girl he was having the affair with way back in the day that bumped her head and ended up dead. Did you ever hear about that?
What?
Yeah. I think he was hooking up with an intern. I just came across. I mean, you can't help but gravitate to news.
Yeah, we were going to talk
thing.
about Alexis, but apparently this is the conspiracy podcast. Oh, Joe Scarborough killed his girlfriend?
Yeah,
Okay,
Joe
Scar.
They ruled it an accident. But
yeah, I'm sure they did. Yeah. The judge who walked away with $100 peeking out of his pocket there. That's so weird.
Let's see.
It's feud with Donald Trump.
Joe Scarborough and sick conspiracies. I forget what it is, but husband of Scarborough aide who died in 2001 speaks.
Joe Scarborough killed his intern.com.
Is there a website too?
That's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it somewhere, but maybe it was in his Wikipedia. But anyway, there was somebody I think that worked for him when he was in the government. I think he was congressman or whatever. And I think they said that she fell and hit her head and passed away.
20-year-old was found dead on the floor of his office.
Yes. Yeah. There it is.
Undiagnosed heart valve irregularity.
Yeah, they said that
in his office, she hit her head on the edge of his desk the day before.
Yeah.
Bro.
Bro,
what the fuck?
Right?
What
did not know about this until today or yesterday. Yeah. And then you're just kind of like, okay, all right, whatever. I'm not even.
So we're changing our name. We're now no longer the Broken Remote. We are now Joe Scarborough Killed His Intern podcast. What the fuck? This is. I don't know. Today.
We're gonna be the new InfoWars. We're changing it today. This breaking in. We are now InfoWars 2.0.
I'm so set, dude. That's insane, dude. Could this be like written any clearer that he killed his intern? Now, maybe. I
mean, it reads that way, right?
But dude, this is also one where you're like the coroner just gets up at in front of the entire court, and he's just got $100 just peeking out of every single pocket in his vest. He's like, I swear to God, and he's like not putting his hand on the Bible. It's hovering like an over. It's like, do you swear before God and everyone in here? I swear.
Well,
to everyone in this court and to God, I said I swear. That's all you're getting from me.
And how fitting is it that this guy is now lead news guy for the left, and he's involved in this whole thing? Like, it's like you can't. The fact that these people exist with all of these stories, I mean, you can understand why the general population ended up voting for the guy that was like, I want to tear down the walls of this whole thing. Although, he's been saying that for 3 elections.
Depravity. Now, so. There's a beautiful level of depravity for those in power, dude. It is just oh.
I will say, I hope that some of the government infrastructure gets torn down, because I'm just not a fan of government. I think it's too big. I think it doesn't work. It wasn't built for this. It's corrupt as fuck.
Yeah, I'm building an underground commune. What are you talking? Corrupt? You tell me Nancy Pelosi having one of the most successful stock portfolios of all time is corrupt? Get out of here. Get out of here.
I mean, it's amazing. Now that she's finally at some point going to be done, the amount of money that she has made.
Bro, she is going to, speaking of killed interns, she is 100% like in front of all of the United States of America going to Kali Ma, rip the heart out of one of her interns and test it in front of the entire studio.
Cover your heart, Indy. Cover your heart.
Yeah. Cover your heart.
Every time I hear calamar,
yeah,
it's like, oh,
dude, she's gonna unhinge her jaw at the next State of the Union and devour the closest aide just to gain their vitality and youth, so she can survive in Congress for another 10 years.
I mean, these are the elected officials, and they have elected officials and big time broadcasters, and they have these crazy fucking stories. You know, like her husband, as old as he is, he's got this young kid with a hammer in his house. You know, like going after him, and the cops come, and then he's like, "No, we're good now."
Oh, so boys can't be boys anymore?
Yeah,
boys can't have fun anymore? Can't have parties anymore? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I see what's going on. I know we were one of those podcasts. We're getting a little too conservative now, huh?
Yeah. But to wrap up, the election, because it's old now. But I mean, I wasn't impressed with the night of broadcast. There wasn't anything big. I would say,
like 2016, dude, I was like staying up all night, like, what's happening? And then meanwhile, for this one, I went to bed and then I looked at my phone like 2 a.m. and it was like, oh, you got Pennsylvania? Oh, this is over. And then I just went right to bed.
There was just no stories. It was just very bland. It was a blowout. It was like watching an old school Super Bowl where it's a blowout and you're like, oh my God, you know.
People were certainly hopeful earlier on, and then like you could just see like the. Oh.
You're right. I didn't even stay to watch his acceptance speech because who gave a shit at that point? It was like it was over, and she didn't give hers.
What's going to happen? He's going to have Dana White and Elon Musk like take him in on one of those, the chairs that they'll have at bar mitzvahs.
Oh
so,
my God!
I can say that I'm doing.
Yeah, that's why I'm letting you do it. But I mean, now they're going around like the goddamn Avengers. You know, I mean, it's like he puts them all on a plane.
We're making a team.
Making a team, and that UFC fight this weekend was ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that's right, dude.
Yeah, they all went.
Dude, another topic, not to derail the election talk because there's still more shit we can talk about that, but the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul.
Oh, well, I mean, we could go right into it. I mean, I watched it on Friday, and I don't care however anybody tries to spin it, if you don't understand that was a complete, utter setup fight and complete bullshit.
That was a cash grab, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I ended up, I bet nothing. I think I bet like maybe a total of like $30 or $40 on it, and they were all on Tyson knocking him out in like rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Everyone wanted that, and it's just like this. Like, come on, dude.
But like trying to think about it, I was like, look, he's 58. If it goes past like 3 or 4 rounds, he's probably just going to gas and he's not going to be able to do it. So if he's got the power, he's going to knock him out. And that's going to be it. And so you watch and he hit him with a shot early on, and you're like, oh yeah, he is going to knock him the fuck out. And then they did this clinch. They did this clinch in the first round after he hit him, and you saw Jake talking in his ear, and then all of a sudden Tyson didn't do anything in the first round. I remember I was texting my buddies on this chain, and I was just like, dude, it's complete bullshit. It's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
He just told him to stop hitting him.
Mike Tyson literally has fixed fights before, and like he wasn't in that. You're shocked now in this one that's not going to go towards his legacy because everyone knows it's fixed.
Well, I didn't think it was going to be.
Is he dead? Like that was my main question when I was like, he must be like he owes money to somebody.
Well, I thought for sure because it was sanctioned so they could get all the wagers on it. I was like, you can't fix it that much because there's probably going to be a lawsuit or something. I mean, bettors will be pissed off. Not that, other fights haven't been fixed and everything, but this is like the first big, gigantic boxing event that you've seen this much money coming in. This has never happened before. It was only in Vegas.
Mayweather and the Conor McGregor one, dude. And it's just like this is like the 4th one, I think, because I'm definitely missing a few. And it's like every one of them is just. Was this fight fixed?
Conor McGregor was good because Conor McGregor, and I don't, I think the script was let's hold it. The over under on that match, on that boxing bout, I think it's a bout, I think it's a match, whatever.
Yeah.
Was 9 rounds. And I think that Mayweather kind of hung back up until round 9, and then like round 10, he went absolutely ape shit and like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, he was like hugging him out for like the entire fight to the end there.
But
Watched him be
McGregor,
like, this is stupid.
but McGregor at one point, I think in like round 3 or 4, got this uppercut and drilled Mayweather on the fucking right on the button, and hit him right on the nose and like sent him back. And I was like, oh, he almost caught him there. And I was like, I don't think that was the way that they scripted that. And it was like if he had hit him and knocked him out. And I didn't think that this fight was going to be. I thought if anything, this fight would be like that fight. I wouldn't have thought it would have been this egregious. This fight was. I mean, I'm surprised there has not been any lawsuits.
I didn't watch it the night of. My friend did, and he was just like, why did I stay up late to watch this fight? I just watched the highlights later on, definitely legally.
Sure.
Because I'm not giving Netflix like satisfaction. But it's just like really, like this is what I understand why people watched it, because everyone hates Jake Paul. Everyone hates the Paul brothers. They're the villains. They're experts at playing the villains. They're in like a new scandal, I feel like, every other week, whether it's looking at dead bodies in some forest or, scamming all their fans out of crypto. In which case, I also say, if you're getting involved in anything with the Paul brothers, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah, I mean, Tyson. Look, I mean, nobody's going to think any less of Tyson, because obviously Tyson's heyday was back in the 80s when he was 20 years old, knocking people out in 20 seconds. But I thought that this was going to be his moment to go back in there and knock the shit out of Paul, and everybody could jump up for joy and been like, oh, Mike, we got to see him one last time, right? And like, what did Jake Paul care? Because Jake Paul's got so much money, it didn't matter. Like, yeah. you want to continue, you want to fake this fight and continue on faking fights. Like, nobody's going to care anymore. After this fight, the way that they did it, nobody's going to care about a Jake Paul fight anymore. I'm sorry. Nobody's going to give a shit because they know that it's fake.
Dude, I want to believe you, but like it happened with the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul one, and so part of me is just like, people are going to keep doing it, dude. Like, people are just they're that desperate to see their teeth get caved in, and it's never going to happen. At least not like legitimately.
You're not going to do a pay-per-view ever again. You're not going to get pay-per-view money with Jake Paul ever again. It's never going to happen. This was free. This was free.
Netflix got fucking hosed. Netflix got like destroyed. Like, everyone was like ranting how they're going to cancel their Netflix because like the whole thing was crashing just the entire night, and just like the stream was horrible.
But you also got to remember that Netflix has to get shit like this in there because Netflix has 2 NFL Christmas Day games. So Netflix owns the NFL Christmas Day games. So they have to get big time runs in here, because the last thing they want to do is have to deal with streaming issues with NFL fans come game day on Christmas. That's just not going to happen. So they've got to get these big time events in here. And I think that was part of the reason they wanted to do this. Number one, they want to get now we're doing some broken remote content.
Yeah, now we're getting into it.
I think Netflix wants, they haven't done news yet. I think they will ultimately get the news. I mean, if you think about.
Thank God, I was worried they would never get into that.
What makes a network, right? Like a legitimate, like, powerhouse. You need live stuff. And what's live? Live sports, live news, live events, concerts, all the rest of it. And Netflix slowly has done all of that with the exception of news. They haven't done news yet. That's the only thing they haven't done. And I would imagine that somewhere down the line they end up getting into it. Like, why wouldn't you, right? I mean, it takes like a studio and paying some people.
You got one dude in a suit and some girl in a low-cut dress. I'm sorry, it's true. It's just like, you get some Megyn Kelly lookalike who's not going to be as smart as her. I'm sorry, I do think she's smart. I know people hate her.
I love I'll be honest, I love Megyn Kelly.
She's a queen.
I hated her on Fox, and she is one hot piece of ass. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even actually think she's too skinny for me, but I think I actually find her attractive because of her new persona. This new, like, firebrand, right, axe wielding.
She is.
Chick.
Listen, all I'm saying is there's a lot of kids my age. You're young. You're growing up in the East Coast, so you're liberal, and you're like, why would anyone watch Fox News? I'm 12 years old, and I'm never going to, what the fuck is that? And you see Megyn Kelly for the first time, and you drop, like, your Game Boy on the floor as you have your first sexual awakening.
If you're a little bit older than that, you're dropping your pants.
And this is why pro-life is the only way to be, and you're like, she's making some good points.
The coolest thing about Megyn Kelly is that I was not a fan of her. And in the past, 6 months, I guess this election cycle, I started catching the clips of her show. And I'm like, you know what? I'll give her a listen. She is probably one of the most on point of all of these new, I don't know, you want to call them celebrity journalists or whatever they are.
Something like that, yeah.
But I listen to her and I'm like, yes, it's a good point. It's well articulated. Sometimes she drops an F-bomb and she does it in places where it fits. I'm like, this is actually what I would love to be able to pull off. If I was younger and I created some celebrity and then I was going.
You want to be a hot blonde? Okay, let's see what we can do.
That puts me on the other side. No. But anyway, Megyn Kelly. Before that, where were
Queen? Yeah,
Queen. Before we got to Megyn Kelly, where the hell were we? We were talking about election cycle. We were talking about Netflix, right? So Netflix, it's just a matter of time before they put somebody up there. I would give Megyn Kelly whatever she wants. I'd be like, Megyn Kelly, do you want to do news on Netflix? Here it is. I think she might be on Sirius. I think that might be her deal. But that's going to be the next thing that Netflix does is probably going to be news. That'll fit in with this Tyson Paul fight. And again, I think the Paul thing was just a test run for these NFL games because they had to get something in there. It was a shame what happened with Tyson. I would have loved to have seen him get knocked out. It just wasn't meant to be.
Dude, everyone did. The whole reason they made the numbers they did on that was just because we were like, kill him, kill him,
yeah.
kill him, kill him.
You wanted to see a 1985 Tyson.
I wanted to see Jake Paul eat his own teeth, and it was just clear that wasn't going to happen. Like, the Paul brothers are nothing but giant bitches, and they're just sad. This is not where they're going to get their comeuppance, sadly, if they ever do.
Yeah, but again, going back to that Paul fight, future Paul fights, you'll never be able to do another Paul pay-per-view. Those days are done because nobody's going to pay after he's already had a Mayweather setup and now this Tyson setup. Why are you going to pay $50 to $75 to watch this shit? You're not going to do it. Nobody's going to care.
I am praying you're right, dude, because part of me I am losing faith in humanity every day that he is that those brothers are famous.
No, this was a last shot. This was a last shot for him in his boxing career if he wanted to do it legit. I thought the way that was going to play out was it was going to be actually legit, and I thought Tyson was going to knock him out. I thought they were going to do a legit fight, and then Tyson would turn around, and then he would immediately agree to the second one. The second one would probably have a little bit of shenanigans, and then set that up for a third. I thought it was going to be a trilogy. That's what I thought was going to happen.
They are high-fiving on their plane to Cabo right now. Yeah, that's really happening.
I was just surprised that they did it this way because you just kind of took the money and it was over and that was it. And you were like,
it was like incredibly blatant, I think is what it was. It was just
gross.
Damn, you guys are really not even remotely shy about what this is, huh?
And there are
Ow, Mr. Tyson, that hurt. Jeez.
There are a ton of people though that legitimately were like, he's 60 years old, and I understand that argument. And at the end of the fight, he was grimacing, and I know he had the bad knee.
Though, dude, he looked legit. The first 2 rounds, you're like, this is what everyone's expecting. Okay, I see what you're looking for.
I expected rounds 5 through 8 to be a disaster. I just expected rounds 1 through 4 to be active, and he just wasn't even active, and it all coincides with
he
clenched
needed
him
his
and talked in his
nap.
ear.
He needed that nap. If he wasn't going to if he's not going to get tucked into bed with his warm glass of milk, how can you expect Mr. Tyson? It's past his bedtime.
It's really
he
so
needs
ridiculous.
to get his bone medication. He was sleepy. Obviously, he's not going to fight well in those last 2 crucial rounds.
No. Well, while we're on Netflix, right? So that was a disaster. I've heard you talk about this Archane show.
Oh my God, dude.
Now,
it's so fucking good.
I've actually seen highlights of it all over the place, but I don't know anything about it. I don't. It's an animated series, correct?
It's an animated series. The plot's complicated. It's basically there's it's kind of like a miniature class warfare thing, but it's just the characters are really good. It's based on this video game called League of Legends. Now, I know
I know League of Legends. I've heard of League of Legends. I haven't played it.
Dude, that game is making fucking hand over fist. They're the original, hey, you want to buy a skin for your kid? The game's free. It's totally free. But if you want to buy a skin for a character,
so it's what everybody else has done since.
There. And then they've made billions upon billions of dollars doing this. So they made like some show on their character because they have more money than God. So they figured, why not do this for advertising? And it's so well written. They have girl boss characters, but like written well. It's everything the Acolyte wishes it was, dude. That's basically what the show is. It's impossible to really explain the plot without getting too much into it. But basically, there's two cities. One's the rich city, one's the poor city, and there are tensions that are arising. And eventually, an event happens that causes tensions to erupt into something a little bit more. And then you follow characters from the poor city primarily as they result more and more to like terrorist acts on the rich city.
Now, does it follow the game? Because the game, I think, is like a multiplayer.
The game's like a MOBA. I don't even think there's really a plot to the game.
There's no plot, right?
Yeah, it's just like they made like a lore for their characters because people are like, well, why does this girl have a gun? And like, she's an engineer. Fuck you. Shut up. Like, just play the goddamn game and give us $5. But why does she have a sword that glows? Because it's cool. Shut up. God.
Yeah, just take it for what it is, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is the first season of it, correct?
No, it's the second season.
Oh, this is the second season.
Last season, but apparently they're going to make like spin-off shows for like other things in the world afterward.
Oh yeah, the first season actually was COVID. It was 2021.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah, had it during COVID, during Thanksgiving when I was home alone, and it was a good time.
That was the way to go. So, is there anybody famous attached to it?
It's like there's a bunch of actors and actresses like that you go like, oh, I know that person, but that's really all I would describe it. There's no one like major of a voice actor except for did you watch Fallout on Prime?
No, that was one that I wanted to get into, and
was so good.
I didn't. Yeah.
So they have the main actress from Fallout. She's one of the main characters, and they have that other girl actress who's just like she's in everything, but I can never remember her name. She did Gwen Stacy in the Spider-Verse movies.
Let me see. Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, she's the other like main character, and they're amazing. The show is just I cannot talk it up anymore. Like the animation's incredible. I'm a gigantic nerd for that shit. The writing's incredible. It's one of the best shows they've ever put on Netflix. I will die on that hill.
I got to catch up with it. Yeah, because I like a good anime. I was excited when they announced they were doing the Terminator something, and they did a Terminator anime.
Yeah.
And then I ended up not watching it, and it came and went, and nobody's talked about it. So I can't imagine it was any good.
This one they've spaced out, so they're doing like 3 episodes at a time, and each season's like 9 episodes. But it goes through really quick. This season's getting a little more like loony and out there, but not in a bad way, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
I got you.
They're definitely doing a lot of world building, but it's just like it's just so well written. Characters have good motivations. There's none of that corny ass dialogue like from Acolyte, where it is all a gigantic metaphor for Lena Dunham's complications with grabbing a penis. Whatever her fucking name is, Lena Headland. That is a really appropriate name for someone who has problems with penises. I just connected in my head there.
There's too many penis problems nowadays. I don't want to hear about all these penis problems.
I was going to say, yeah. Well, Archane does not have that issue. I don't know. They got good characters of all the gender. The 2 main characters are women, but like they got plenty of everything.
When your American government is talking about penises in women's bathrooms and who can and cannot go, I think we've gone off the rails, and that's the issue getting pounded in the media now. It's like
speaking of getting pounded, yeah, that's something Lena Headland's used to. Oh, we're there. So we get big bucks. And I'm still
big winner.
And I still can't figure out why we can't get sponsors on this thing. It's just one day. It's only for a time.
Talk about getting pounded. Oh, good times. Yeah, but
you get pounded. Yeah, that was
I got to catch up with that because I know you've talked it up a bit. I know you talked it up before, and I forgot about it. Now, are they going to be doing more than 2, or is it like a 2-series and done?
I think it's for like this Andor. Story. It's 2 seasons, and then they're going to jump into like some other like fresh new characters, but with like the same team behind it. Is what I've read.
Gotcha. Now, do you know, are they going to be doing 2 seasons of Penguin? Now, don't ruin it. I have not finished it yet.
Dude, I haven't finished it either.
You haven't
So
finished it? Okay.
I'm with. I don't know where you're at. I'm on episode I think we're starting episode 6 or something like that.
So I watched episodes 1 and 2 when they came out, and then got caught up in
Same.
the
Yeah.
elections, all the
I
other
dropped the
bullshit.
ball.
It was football season. My wife has had this historic run with our high school field hockey team that I've been going to the games. So I've had things put on the back burner. I haven't picked it up, but I
Every
started to
friend of
get
mine
through.
that's watched it, dude, says the season finale just solidified.
That's what
as
I've
being
read, and I'm
fantastic.
trying desperately not to read anything. I think I know not specifically something that happens, but I know thematically something that happens, and I'm pissed.
I have theories of what's going to happen. I just have it because his character arc is pretty, if he has one, it's pretty clear to me. I'm not going to say anything in case I'm dead wrong. I mean, I'll say it because I haven't watched it yet.
No, don't, because you might be ahead of me, so I don't want to ruin
Okay.
it. But
Okay,
I think we talked about this last time. I think I'm like 4 or 5, so I'm like
so
a
we're
couple behind you.
I'm maybe like an episode up ahead. Dude,
Yeah.
episode 4 though, we'll just get to that real quick. The one where with her backstory, Sophia Falcon's backstory.
Oh yeah.
God damn, dude! Holy shit!
Yeah, they've done a good job with the whole thing. They really have. And I love
This is
the
the
way.
first. We're talking about 2 shows we really liked right now on Broken Remote. Yeah,
I know,
where's
right?
Where's the
I mean-
trash Star Wars. I mean, they announced the Ray trilogy.
Oh, there's
so
plenty. They're coming back with the Ray trilogy.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, we're gonna be eating good tonight.
It's true. We still got that coming. Andor season 2 is coming. I didn't know Andor was only going to be 2 seasons. That's too bad because that's a good show. Well, we
I
have
know.
Skeleton Crew coming up. We'll be able to shit on that soon enough. But let's not get too off track here. So I think the thing about Penguin that I love is that it really does fit the Batman movie really well, right?
Yeah, I was gonna rewatch it eventually. I need to rewatch it now, especially after Penguin.
And
Ooh.
I do wish, and this was one of the knocks that I've read is there is no reference to Batman, right? It's
I kind of like it though because
I don't dislike it. I just wish it was once in a blue moon. They
some crazy
mention
guy coming along the streets here.
Yeah,
I think the idea, because I was reading about that too, and I think their idea is he's in year 1 or 2 of being the Batman.
Yeah, so it's just
He's
starting.
around, but no one's really just who are you talking about? And so that's why they're doing the Penguin origin story, because it's okay, well, he's kind of also coming to power at the same time Batman's somewhat becoming a face.
Is that the timeline of it? Because I thought that Falcone got knocked off in the Batman movie. I don't know.
It's right after. It's literally the day after the Batman movie.
Yeah, I wish there was just some kind of reference to it, only to kind of tie in and weave in to weave in the actual world that was established to this one. But I mean, it's not that it's not something that's bent me out of shape that much. It's just it would be nice because it would tie it in. I mean, HBO must be going nuts because they get everything they want. They got, and we talked about this I think before, was they got the Sopranos in a fictional world, so they get to go back into that Soprano-esque mode.
It scratches that itch, dude.
It does,
It 100%
right?
does. Yeah, he's such a piece of garbage, but in such a fun way. He's so watchable. Colin Farrell's gonna get so much fucking work after this, dude.
I don't know. This is just a role. HBO might bring him back, depending on how long they want to go with it.
Oh, I'm just saying, if he rides this wave, dude, he might be getting a lot more, movies or something after this.
Well, I think you could probably definitely do, depending on what they want to do with it, right? Because I think the Matt Reeves Batman series is going to be a trilogy, right? I think they're set up. They already have 2
Oh, is that
going.
what they're doing?
Yeah,
I know they're doing the
a
second
trilogy.
one's coming out, yeah.
I think they're doing a trilogy. So,
Don't fuck up the Joker. Don't fuck up the Joker. Don't fuck up the Joker.
Oh, no. You fucked up the Joker.
And you fucked up the Joker. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was the Todd Phillips. My bad. Yeah.
Is that James Gunn now has come and taken over, all of DC.
Superman and Wonder Woman, that other bullshit.
Yeah, well, the whole DC world. Now, eventually, you would think, he's doing Superman, but you're going to have to bring in Batman, right? And they said that the Matt Reeves is not a part of the James Gunn DC.
Which I like, yeah.
Which is fine. So you want to do this Bat world, between Reeves' Batman and these Penguin shows. You would imagine, 3 seasons out of the Penguin?
I think they could do probably 3. I mean, it sounds like they just had the idea for the first one, and they're just like, hopefully people like this. And it turns out people really fucking liked it.
So then, well, kind of like Ted Lasso, right? I think Ted Lasso might have been like kind of a trial season 1, and we liked it. So let's go
My
back.
guess is they'll do 2 really good seasons and hopefully not fuck it up with a third, but I'm not holding my breath for that.
Right, yeah.
But right now, first season, phenomenal. Loving it.
It's been really good. It's been really good. And Colin Farrell, to your point, has been spectacular.
Him and Kristen Milani, or whatever her name is. Apologies for that. Kristen, I know you listen to this podcast.
Is that who Falcone is?
Yeah. She was like the mom in How I Met Your Mother, and she was in that other like Hulu movie, Palm Springs.
She was in Palm Springs, and I think that's where I know her because every time I look at her, I kind of get her confused with this other actress. And I've IMDb'd her like 3 times, and it's like, oh no, it's not her. It's Palm
I was
Springs.
following her because I was obsessed with 30 Rock when I was younger, and she was like this. Like she was in one episode of 30 Rock, but she just was like such a funny, weird character that I was like, please succeed in being an actress. Because so many don't. And she's killing it. So there you go.
Yeah, good for her. I mean, I'm good for. Look, we started this to try to talk about content and good content, and just because there's been so much shit, there was
so much shit, dude.
There were things that we never even got to go back to that I have not even finished. Like we didn't even beat Velma season 2 into the ground, and now it's been so far gone. It's kind of like who cares, right?
Well, I mean, apparently so does HBO. They feel the exact same way.
Yeah, right. They don't talk about that at all anymore. Did they cancel Velma?
I heard they did. I think they're doing like another special, and then it's done. But we'll see.
Let's see. Velma canceled. What was another? We never got to do the oh my God, the Jennifer Lopez Netflix movie. We were talking about that.
Oh, I watched that. That was a movie.
Yeah, that was a movie. Let's see. Velma canceled. Did Velma?
No, she bonded with the machine. Dude.
Yeah, Velma canceled after 2 seasons. So.
Oh no, bummer! Oh,
yeah, I know, and I'm sure it's because HBO hates women, or women. Of,
it's definitely not that
Middle
it costs
Eastern
way
descent.
too much money, and
or that it just
Mindy
sucked.
Kaling is a nightmare to deal with. Yeah, definitely none of those.
Here I guess we can end. Did you watch the newest attempt to revitalize The Office with the random NBC doctor show? Not doctor, but hospital show?
No.
Yeah, they came out. It's not called The Office. I forget what it's called.
The clinic? Like, what is it? Yeah.
Let's see. NBC hospital show.
They have Abbott Elementary. I've been watching it. That I actually liked a lot.
People are seeing St. Dennis Medical. St. Dennis Medical. Yes. So they plugged it, and I forget it came on after something. And Allie and I turned it on, and we were like, oh, let's give this a try. And I forget what we were doing beforehand. We might have finished watching one of our local high schools. They've got all of our teams are going to championships. But anyway, we led into St. Dennis Medical, and it's the same thing, first person. They're shooting it with a camera crew, and they're interviewing everybody in between. It's the Office format, which has now been replicated everywhere. And they did it here, and it
worked. We need more success.
You couldn't have butchered the idea anymore. I mean, the characters, I don't care. All of the actors are like over the top. You watch The Office, and The Office only got over the top with the characters probably like midway through season 2 when they started when Dwight became crazy. Dwight, season 1 was a little grounded.
Yeah, the season 1 was the most grounded, I think, because Michael Scott was clearly just putting on airs just because there was a camera around.
Yeah.
And then he was a little bit more of a jerk. And then the second season, I think they toned that part down. I mean, that talk about a show jumping the shark, dude. That's one that should not have been 9 seasons long. That is one you should have just killed it.
They lost it.
I liked a lot of the seasons 1 through 4. I think are pretty awesome. 5 is great, and then season 6 is you're like, hey, does anyone else notice this massive amount of water leaking into the boat? And you're like, we can just ignore that for 4 more years. Don't worry, it'll be cool.
Yeah, we used to TiVo that show when we lived down in Florida, and it was phenomenal. And I remember kind of punching out, really, even before Michael Scott left.
Oh yeah,
at the time,
it was like Jim and Pam's wedding was when I was like,
yeah, it was just. I don't know. It was kind of like the jokes got a little old, and it was kind of like, all right, we've been here, done that. And then they changed. I tuned back in when they brought Spader in. He was okay. And then obviously I tuned back in to
It made me
send it
dislike
off.
Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell was in it for 3 episodes. I
Yeah.
was like, he's the most annoying character.
Wow,
I
Will
was so
Ferrell
excited.
has really kind of fallen off here, huh? He
I think people-
hasn't had a win. He started doing all the crazy liberal, advertisements toward the end of the Gary. He was like, "Go vote, Gary."
He makes more money than I do in probably my entire career, or will, in just one Capital One commercial. So, I mean, part of me is just
Is he doing Capital One commercials now? I don't think I've seen one of those.
It's only a matter of time. I mean, he does all the other ones. I just can't remember the exact brand. I feel like everyone and their mother's in a Capital One commercial at this point.
Let's see what he's got coming up. He's got 12 things coming up. Let's not. He's producer. Can we do? Let's get rid of producer and just do actor, because I really don't care what he produces. All right, so I don't know any of these projects at all. I don't. You're cordially invited. He's going to play a character named Jim. Who's attached to this thing? Does it even have?
No, that's from The Office. Jim's from The Office.
You're cordially invited. I recognize some of these people. Oh, that's Reese Witherspoon. So it's Will Ferrell, Reese Witherspoon.
He's alive? Oh, my God.
Follows a woman who is planning his sister's wedding and the father of another bride-to-be. They discover that they were double booked for the same destination wedding, so both parties decide to share the venue. But chaos and disaster await. So there you go. Anybody else other than those two big guys? Nope, it's Reese Witherspoon, Will Ferrell, and nobody. Jack McBrayer. If you saw,
you know what they should do? They should throw Jack Black and The Rock and Kevin Hart into it, because they're not in enough movies right now.
I can't stand fucking Jack Black.
Dude, you're not going to check out Red One, dude? You didn't want to see that movie?
No, I heard it was terrible.
Yeah, dude. It's $250 million, by the way. Yeah, $250, just $250 million.
Is that what it made, or is that what it
No,
cost?
no, that's what it cost.
What did it do? It came out last week, right? So let's see, Box Office
Every
Mojo.
review, dude, I've seen of it is like, this is the most mid movie. Like, people are so offended. They're like, it's so mid, it's insulting, which is hilarious.
But that is like. That's been so many rock movies. Like, if they're not terrible, they're mid. But I can't. Like,
won't branch out, dude. He refuses to even remotely look at anything that is not like, this is not.
Oh, he won't. Yes.
Yeah.
He won't do anything that hurts his brand. Not a one at all.
Do a risky movie? What are you talking about? I make $3 million per Instagram post.
But, like, nobody goes to the movies. Look at this. Last weekend, this was Red One's premiere. It's a Christmas movie. It's coming out right before Thanksgiving. It did $32 million. $32 million. And it had Chris Evans and Dwayne Johnson. Like, again.
And J.K. Simmons is nowhere near as big as those other two, but still, that's absurd.
Somebody tell me, like, The Rock's real box office appeal here. Like, it's not at the gate. It's not at the gate. Like, he doesn't pull in people. They don't care. I love Rock as the 25, 28-year-old wrestler.
You didn't love him in San Andreas? What are you talking about, man? We talk about that movie all the time.
No, I do admit I do love bad Rock. Like, his bad movies are really good. Like they're bad. Like, Baywatch is really bad that it's good. And Baywatch has actually grown on me a little bit. But a lot of The Rock is just terrible.
That's just because you see Alexander Daddario in a swimsuit. Come on, let's call it spade a spade here.
That is one hot piece of ass. Take a guess. I'm going to put you on the clock. Take a guess at the number 2 movie for last weekend.
Number 2
Number
movie?
1 was Red One, made $32 million.
What else is in theaters?
Don't cheat.
Can I look up what's in theaters? I have no idea.
Go ahead. Look up what's in theaters.
I got no idea.
Go ahead. Look up what's in theaters.
What's in theaters? Just taking so long. Venom?
No!
Was I right?
Venom: The Last Dance, clocking
in. That's the only movie I see that I somewhat recognize.
At a colossal $7.3 million.
But how long has Venom been in theaters?
It's been in a while. I'm just saying that nobody's going to the movies. COVID has completely and utterly destroyed the box office. with the
That said,
exception of.
Venom has done quite well. I mean, granted, with marketing, it's probably just done a little over even, but like
I bet
over
I'm
breaking
going
even.
to look now. You want to take before I pull up the page because I don't want
Oh,
to
I
ruin
just
it.
pulled it. I just pulled it up.
Oh, all right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna guess. I'm gonna guess right now. It's been out a couple of weeks, but I haven't heard anything huge about it. I'm gonna put it in like the
Huge.
one. I'm gonna put 150 range. I'm gonna put it in the 150 range.
In terms of cost or how much it's made?
No, how much is made? How much is made?
Oh, okay, 150.
I overshot it. 128. 128 is what it's made since it's opened. It's made 128 domestically. It's made 308 internationally.
I was going to say that's what I'm looking at. It has done quite well internationally.
Yeah, again, it goes to the whole like DVDs are gone and it's just been replaced by the international market.
China.
The international market is now it's China. Yeah, so here you got usually we've looked at this before. Usually the split is like 35, 65. So here you got less domestic, more international. So for a worldwide total of almost $500 million. So I don't know what did it
Not
cost.
bad.
That's
It
not
was like 120 is what they say. That is not including marketing though. So you can probably double that.
Yeah, so, I guess Venom Last Dance, even though I haven't heard anybody talk about it, I guess it's a success. But, I mean, look.
It's weird.
You're talking the top 3 movies are pulling in for last weekend with a Dwayne Rock premiere. You're talking about basically $45 million, $44
Dude,
million.
32, dude, is a flop and a half, dude. Like
That's
they're not
terrible.
making. They're
That's
not making.
terrible.
That is horrible. They are fucked. That is also crazy that there's just like, let's make our 50th Rock movie in a row because it works.
Yeah.
I read a book recently on. I read, yes. I read a
Congratulations,
book
I
recently,
do not.
like the rise and fall of like this one gaming company, like Blizzard. They're the guys that made like World of Warcraft,
yeah,
StarCraft,
sure.
all that stuff.
World
And the
of
reason
Warcraft, by the way, I was reading before, is actually had a map, and that's where League of Legends came from. It came from a map of World Warcraft 3.
Yeah, you're right. That was actually in the book. I completely forgot
Was
about
it?
that.
Yeah.
You're totally right. Yeah. So they had like that whole story, but in it, there's like the CEO. There's like this whole scandal with him, but basically his modus operandi for the game, because there was like a big complaint with that game over the last like 10 years, and like all their franchises where, well, you guys, they're the guys that do Call of Duty as well.
Yes,
and it's
yeah,
like, why do you
Activision
keep
Blizzard,
making why do you keep making the same game every year? Like it's getting like there's a point where you go, oh, this is great. I get to replay my favorite game. Like every year I look forward to when it gets re-released or the new version comes out. And then eventually after like 5 years you go, I can't. I hate this franchise. I can't look at it anymore. And the CEO's in the book and he's like, I don't understand why this isn't working. My goal for every franchise is to bleed it dry until there's nothing you can get left from this stone.
Makes sense.
Which is what he says, but then at the same time, the CEO also says, why does no one like our franchises anymore? I don't get it. You just go, did you not hear what you just said? Like at the very beginning of
You
this
guys work for the same company, right?
Yeah. It's the same dude. So
that's right. Yeah, the same company.
he's just like, why don't they want to eat my slop? I don't get it. Give the pigs the slop every day. Oink, oink, little pigs. Oink, oink. Buy my game.
Red One, by the way, has the typical 60-40 split. So international,
Of course.
50 mil.
Oh, 60 that
domestic.
go to the Rock or what? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so 84 worldwide. I guess when you put the worldwide thing, I guess maybe The Rock makes money, but God, I mean, he will go down as. I mean, I don't know.
He has not seen a paycheck he dislikes.
No. I mean, but I never see a Dwayne Johnson movie, and I think anything other than here's another fucking money grab. It's like it's so pathetic, and it's kind of like, I mean, has he had a longer and better career than Schwarzenegger, which is what the model for him was.
Well, he doesn't have like. I don't think any of them. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe who knows? Maybe the Jumanji remake will be deemed a classic. But
Yeah,
I
he
don't
probably
think
wasn't
anything
as
he
big,
is gonna be,
right?
Yeah, none of them are ever going to be like Predator level. I think he's going to be like classic actor in the future that you think of that was just like they just couldn't when Hollywood couldn't think of anything. They're just like, what slop can we just feed to the piggies? Because I'm just going to use that.
Yeah. I mean, The Rock just basically was a celebrity. Like his persona was a celebrity, and they put him in everything. And
He's not a great actor. What are you talking about?
Yeah. No. I mean, it was just like, we're going to put The Rock in it because people like him. which, I mean, really goes back to kind of fascinating. It's just that's how good of a wrestling career he had, that he was able to spin off that persona to everywhere else. Because that's all anybody hires him for, is just to be The Rock. And now he doesn't even.
Yeah, I can't.
Now
And next thing you know, they're going to do that to Logan Paul. Can't wait for that to happen.
Jesus. With that, that's it. We're out. We're calling it a wrap there.
We're done. That's too much.
Yeah, we're not going back to Jake Paul. I'm going to cry as I have bad nightmares from Friday night. It's awful. But anyway, good to get back on the show. We will come back at you, maybe a little Arcane, dive into a couple other things that are coming up there. So
The Ray trilogy, dude. We can go with that.
The which trilogy?
The Ray for Star Wars.
Okay, no, we got a while for that. We got a whole nother unit prep for that. So, but anyway, all right. Till next week, Will. I'll see you later. Everybody else, peace.
Godspeed.